Hello everyone. As Albert very briefly introduced, today we're going to talk about why creating playful experiences matter. And it's all about creating a brief introduction to adapting gamification to build Instagram-worthy experiences, because we all know that when we find something wow, we just go and put it on Instagram. So who am I? As Albert very briefly introduced and very nicely introduced, but is it passing through? As Albert mentioned, I'm working as an experience design and gamification lead in Accenture Interactive, and also I'm doing some mindfulness experience tutor, and I'm a mentor on various areas. But if you go more realistic and ask to me, I'm simply father of Rüzgar, movies and comics nerd, and a professional respirator, because these are the things that I'm trying to do best as much as I can. So we are here today on our computers on different part of the world, countries, and we kind of stuck in this situation. Why? Because the COVID hits, right? And when the COVID hits, we all got in a search of doing something new, something interesting, and we ended up trying some new stuff. Some of us did baking, some bread, some of us started learning new language, and I started running, okay? Because all the successful people do this. They run, and early in the morning. So first time ever in my life, I said that, okay, so I'm going to try and running. And after I started running, not a long time after, in a very quick sense, I understood that running might not be my thing, because it wasn't fun at all. It was like I was struggling to understand the reason behind why should I run. And when I started looking around, I just recognized that I'm not alone. Actually, a lot of people are struggling to understand the logic behind running. And yeah, but as a designer of experience and the gamification guy, I was thinking, okay, I'm having an experience which is actually quite good for my physical and mental health, this running in the morning and everything, but the experience is a lack of fun, okay? Lack of fun and playfulness. So what can I do? And then I started looking up, and finally I remembered a little small app game which I love and adore, which is called as Zombie Run. And if you know it, you know it. If you don't, practically Zombie Run is a running motivator app, not like a Night Plus, which is saying that you're doing great, you're doing awesome, or not the other ones, but most likely you're putting the earbuds, headphones, and you start running. And the app's starting in the background, and at one point, zombies are starting to chase you, running behind you. You're just seeing, and then you start running and going. And it was the best thing. So that brings us the logic of why experience matters, why playfulness of gaming, gamification within it matters. And if you're going to talk about first about the experience, let's define what is experience. In this talk, I know that a lot of people, a lot of my overall colleagues on UX and UI area and designers may be watching this, and I'm not going to details about what experience is. What I know is experiences are the building blocks of memories, okay? Our memories are a full-blown set of experiences. What makes the memories are those experiences. So that's in the pocket. When we're talking about experience, we think about going for the memories. And when you think of this UX, customer experience or user experience, unfortunately, this UX is already a very misunderstood abbreviation, because, come on, UX, as Edward Tuffle say, like there are only two industries out there call their customers as users, like the drug dealers and the software people. So maybe we should stop saying this users at one point, because we're talking about human. Yes, they are using it, I get it, but when you start even saying this users, consumers, it's just putting them in kind of a baskets, kind of categories, or let's say kind of personas. And that is also another interesting topic, because as we all know, data, right? The big data, humongous data. Data is changing stuff, and we are all going for the harvesting data, meaningful data, all this thing. But also we know that torture data enough, it will give you the result that you wanted. The same goes for the personas. I mean, just think about it. When you're working for an experience, you're working and you're saying that, okay, I'm going to create a persona, okay? And this persona is practically a male, living in UK, let's say quite rich, born somewhere between 40 and 50, lives in a castle, okay? And let's make it famous. Any names? Prince Charles, right? This is our persona. Lives in England, age between the born years between 40s and 50s, lives in a castle, wealthy and famous, born and raised in UK. So this should be just Prince Charles. Wow, we have two nominees, and one is Prince Charles. You're right. Other one is Ozzy. So what we learn here, the personas are not demographics. So we have to focus on understanding what people as human beings face as problems and challenges, not just looking at the numbers and defining demographics. And to be able to do so, what should we do? We should have to ask the right question. And this asking right question is quite an important aspect, because those questions define the answers. But I'm not talking about asking tons of questions. You have to be smart. You have to come up with the right questions, which can bring together a UX researcher, my son, and Backstreet Boys. So is there a question like that out there? Yes, it is. It is, tell me why. All you have to do is go and understand, tell me why, because understanding people means that understanding the experience. And by I say understanding the experience, I'm not saying about like going full-blown technique, going like, you know what, the thumb pixel is 72 pixels out. So you have to know it when you're doing a touch screen. It's all good. We all know that. You have to know that. I'm just taking this as you kind of have to know it. But the part that you really need to understand is more deeper than that. Because as a designer, you go and say that, okay, I'm going to build a park, right? It's going to be an awesome park. I'm going to just put all this stuff in it. It's going to look fancy. It's going to look great. The exact perfect park that people would love to have it, would love to go for it, live on it, and then you launch it, and then ta-da, the experience says something else. It doesn't matter how good your design is. The experiences are the facts, because designs might look good, and regarding the fact that they are more visual, designs may have more opinions, okay? You can say it's a good design, it's a bad design, it looks nice, but experiences, they don't have opinion. They are fact. Those are the facts that you need to harvest to come up with the right thing. Because if you need to understand how people behave, then suddenly you are having a kind of a superpower that you can actually know what people do, or like lead what people do. Because trust me when I say this, human beings are not that complicated. Yes, we are not just a bottle of water, but at the end of the day, we are not that complicated. So it is, all you have to do is just look into yourself, your mindset. Because let's see, we are all using handies, the mobile phones and all kind of stuff, right? And we all using messages, WhatsApp and stuff. You can differentiate a message style with an anger or disappointment. And like probably most of the guys, men in this call, in this meeting, who are watching this right now, they're just nodding it, because we know it, right? On the left side, it is anger. It is like ta, 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 but in a disappointment is a huge one block. There is no type in it, nothing, no word in it, but you're understanding it. And why? Because it is going through the feelings. The experience is not just very direct stuff. And when we're talking about this, the experience can be changed by this technology. of stuff like an outcome, and also the experience might be changed from a source that no one was ready for it. So when you're facing a situation, then you have to make the experience useful and fun, right? Because it has to be good. Like if you're talking about creating memories, to be able to do that, we need a gamification approach, game design. And for this, for example, Ralph Koster said once, which is one of my favorite quotes, the UX design is all about removing the obstacle from the user, and game design is about giving obstacle to the user. Both have this, it's all balance and tendency, of course. So if you're talking about games and gamification, what is gamification? I used to describe this slides differently before, but right now we are all together in a gamification atmosphere, okay? We all know what gamification is. At the end of the day, we know that gamification is just about implementing challenges, leaderboards, badges flow, competition, and all the tools to enhance the experience, right? Or is it? Actually, what I've been trying to push in the last 2 and 3 years within the company, within every environment, gamification is actually a mindset. Gamification is something that you can implement any environment, any areas, and then it just changes, okay? And we need it. We need this approach. We need this mindset. But why do we need game elements? Why do we need the mindset, these elements in our lives? First of all, let's accept it. Reality is not a that fun game, okay? It's like you have one life. You have to be very careful not to be dead, and it's like too many level bosses. It just sucks. So we need the game elements more. We need to make this game of life more joyful, playful. And if we talk about play is about emotions. And when I say this, you have to. So if you come to this point, it's important that you have to understand it's all about having the experience and embracing it with the gamification, with the playful approach. Because if you can do it, and if your client or if you are trying to sell a bedding, okay, you can say, yeah, this is the most wonderful bedding. Your face will feel like a silk on it. It's just a cushion. It's just great. Or you can say, hey, come on this bedding, you're gonna have some dreams that you're gonna write stories about it. You see, gamification is not about just the tools, just the techniques on a very hardcore, on adapting in the tools, in the platform, in the areas. It is a goddamn mindset. You can embrace it and you can implement it. If we were all together in a meeting area, if we were doing this in somewhere, we would have the coffee break. And those coffee breaks are the awkward moments, right? Everyone is hanging around. Hi, you did this. How can you do it? How can you break it? Easy. Just create some cupboards which are pointed out with the interested topic. Then start collecting people. You see, it's all about that playful approach. This is from my t-shirt. And when I found out this, I put it on Instagram, of course, but I'm now a big fan of this product because it is behind the label. It was a great surprise. And for me, this is gamification and experience at its best. And if we can just set this mindset, I don't know if any of you has studied chemistry in school. Unfortunately, I did. And we all have a thing called periodic table, which we would memorize it. It's a goddamn hard stuff. But what would it look like if it was like this? If you go it with actual real life samples, what is oxygen? What is aluminum? What is iron? Or even not just this boring subject, even if it's a little bit unsettling topics, you can still make it more, maybe not fun, not just fun, but being more aware. Okay, you can create anything in a very simple way, in a very create a very powerful awareness by using the right stuff, right tool. Even if the topic is COVID, right? Even if the topic is a virus, you can still use it to leverage your entity, to leverage your ideas. But of course, I'm not saying it like there are some samples as well, pushing it too hard. Like if you see, this was a real actual toy, which was the name is my home office kit, which is going for like and telling the kids to smoke, not smoke, drink coffee. Okay. So long story short, in this, while doing this, I can even you can even let others sing a song just just in 10 seconds. I mean, if you're looking at the slides, right now the tune is started in your mind and you're hearing Paul McCartney. So this is all about being playful to harvest emotions to enhance the experience, okay? And before I close it, because the experience is going through, and this is coming a lot, like what about metaverse? What are the NFTs? I mean, metaverse is there, okay? It's since the mark came up with the name, now it's a fashion show, but this is a metaverse, and this is me and myself from 2 years ago, a picture, a screenshot. This is Roblox, where some smart brands are in there actually doing stuff. Or when we're talking about NFTs, if there are any dinosaurs in the audio, in the people who are listening to me, watching us right now, we used to collect these cards and play cards. There were various of them. Okay, we used to do this, change, exchange, buy, play, and now we have this. So you see, the logic behind is simple. Just look outside. The experience is there. It was always there. It is just shape shifting, and when you combine it with the right mindset of a gamification, then you're good to go. I need to share this because I'm putting this in all my decks. Samsung's look at me. I don't play the video. You can just go and check it. For me, in my opinion, this is the gamification and experience project. This is like the, but not least. What I can tell you is, people, look, don't don't think don't forget users. They are humans, okay? And for those humans, emotion is the key. To be able to harvest those emotions, you need to observe, watch, and understand the behavior. And don't try to invent the experience because it is just there. All you need to do is clean on top of it and make it visible. Embrace the core of gamification, which is being playful, and please be realistic and never fall in love with your ideas. Thanks a lot for listening. Have a great one. That's it from my side.
Thank you very much, Ochaito. That was a tour de force and a lot of great slides and ideas there. I think we have time for a few questions, possibly, if they come through. I think I'll bring up one sort of comment that I was also thinking of while you were talking. It's from Victoria, in terms of, the personas and how identifying aspects and specific personas puts people into boxes, and, each person could be a persona.
Exactly.
That sort of made me think of, if you've ever come across sort of Seth Godin's ideas of tribes, in terms of, like, rather than going for personas, you sort of put people into large groups, and the sort of the emotions that group or the interest that group is sort of, targeting, rather than have the personas around it. So sort of wondering your thoughts around that. Is that sort of a better one in terms of, like, moving away from the user who's drugs and software, targeting more sort of emotion?
Look at the behind the scenes of Planet of the Apes movies or the Lord of the Rings movies. The people are playing orcs or different apes. At one point, they are starting to group together in different times. So your actions are very easily changed by environment and behavior, motivational design.
Definitely, yeah. In terms of the emotions behind that. Well, I'll try to thank you very much. It was
My
a
pleasure.
pleasure listening to you.